Hey there, it's Anish here. I recently moved to a new place and the walls in the room looked a little bit bare. So I decided to put a painting up, and I might have jumped off of the deep end and bought a really big canvas and acrylic paints. I've never really painted on anything this big or in acrylic. So let's see how it goes.
So as you heard, this is my first time doing acrylic. I think it's my second time. I did it once a couple of days ago during a paint night at work, but it was a smaller piece, and we were given a prompt on the spot, and I ended up painting this scene. I think the theme was fireflies at night, and I really enjoyed using the medium and was very inspired to paint something, and that something was for my new room. I moved into a new place and figured out it would be a good way for me to really go out of my comfort zone, and I really have no skill set with acrylics, so I wanted to keep it as simple as possible, and hope that my intuition that I've developed as a watercolor artist helps me out while painting acrylic. And so this is when I'm just painting the blue sky and just trying to get a feel of what acrylic is and how it works, trying not to make a mess, and trying to really see if I need to add water, how much water to add. The water does make it quite transparent, and then I did want to throw in some splashes. I had no idea what I was doing. You can see me experiment. At the beginning I just had a few blobs, and then I tried to mess around with it, and I had somewhat of an idea what I wanted to do, but again I was hoping for some happy accidents in here, and you see me trying to correct some blobs, and just I think in the grand scheme of things, this step did add a lot of magic to this painting. And I let the painting dry overnight and came back to it the next day and found that some paint had actually gone over or under the tape, and I guess I just needed to press the tape in harder on the canvas. It's just a few things that I guess I couldn't intuitively understand, because on a paper, on a table, it's quite easy to press the tape finely in, but it's quite hard to do it on a canvas. Anyway, but you see me, I'm also having a hard time filming this process because it's a bigger painting I'm not really used to, so it's a lot of new skills that I've been trying to pick up, not just acrylic painting but also filming in a way that you don't just see my back all the time, or I don't end up covering the painting the whole time. Painting this yellow section was harder because for some reason the yellow was more transparent, and when I had made those blue splashes earlier, I could see a few blue dots and just the blue color that went in on the other side, and I had to go over it a few times to sort of reduce the transparency and bring about the opacity. In the grand scheme of things, I guess it worked out, but yeah, you see me being a little paranoid here, trying to cover every blue spot because I really want the yellow to shine. And at this stage this painting looks like a flag of Ukraine, and half of the people that have seen this painting so far have told me that this painting reminds them of the flag of Ukraine, and I find it very funny because I didn't think about it at all while I was painting it. I guess I had a vision in mind, of course, and the painting you saw in the thumbnail and the painting you're seeing me make. I didn't come up with the composition or the idea. I saw it on Instagram and really loved it, and I knew that this was something that I would want to have I take a bunch of screenshots, and this one I knew I had this screenshot on my phone. I take so many screenshots a day, just of interesting compositions, interesting lights and shadows I find, and this was so unique. It's an amazing photograph and a beautiful composition. And here you see me trying to fiddle in and draw on the canvas before I get to painting, and this is really where I was excited to do this part. Initially I start with white, and I think this is when I guess my intuition as a watercolor artist came in handy. I started painting the street lamp in white first because it's somehow easy to cover it up later in case I make a mistake. And that's the good part about acrylics, so that's what I felt good about. They're opaque paints, so I wasn't too afraid of making mistakes. I knew I could hide them, at least on the blue part. The blue was quite opaque. I think the mistakes are a little harder to hide on the yellow part because the yellow is a little transparent. And since this was my first acrylic painting, I didn't want to get too many paints, so I just got a red, yellow, blue and white, and I was able to make the whole painting with just these colors. And you see now I'm putting in the shadow by mixing in all three colors. I'm making this somewhat of a purpley gray black color and using that as all the shadow colors. And I definitely studied the reference photo for a while. I think for weeks I was looking at what makes it so interesting, and first is the composition is divided exactly in half, which is not a usual composition style. You usually see photographs and paintings look good when they're divided in thirds, but this does look really interesting and nice, and it has this amazing quality to it. It has an abstract quality. It might remind you, if the street lamp wasn't there, it might remind you of some postmodern painting, those ones you hear about, just like a block of paint that people pay a lot of money for. So really one of those like postmodern abstract paintings, but then it does have some realism to it. All you have to do is stop for a moment and look closely, and I try to get a few aspects of light and shadows, some colors, and I think overall the scene is something that's everyone has seen, everyone can relate to, everyone has seen a street lamp like this, so I think it's easy to identify for almost everyone. And that's the kind of thing I would want to have on my room wall, where you can choose to it just looks nice, it's bright, it adds color and light to your room, and especially the small room that I have, it really adds some life to it. But if I shall choose to take a closer look at it, it's something that I can spend some time looking and appreciating, and that is what I was going for. And you see me here trying to make the divide between the blue and the yellow a little bit more crisp, and trying to get that line as perfect as I could. And if you see, overall this painting, it's not a complex painting, anyone can do it. And that's what I was trying to tell my friend Joey, who was over when I painted this, that it really, I think painting is something that anyone can do, and just understanding what you don't know is important. I think people, especially beginners, or even me at the beginning, I tried to do something really complex, didn't even know it was complex, right? I was like, oh, this looks nice, and I just went for it. And now I have a more intuitive sense of what's difficult, what do I not know, what would be really hard to paint, what kind of effects would be tough, and then choose something that I know I can do it quite simply. I can visualize the whole painting process in my mind, and I know how to approach it, I know how it will feel, and at what stages do I need to check if I need to change my plan. So we all start a painting with a plan, and I think in having some experience in any medium, it's not just you have to use acrylic or watercolor. I think in any medium of painting, there is a process in your mind, and then there are time points when you take a stop and you evaluate, should I still follow the same process, do I need to make any changes, Were there some mistakes that I need to fix? Were there some happy accidents that I can utilize for my own advantage? And so one thing I did change for this painting was that I wanted to put some green plants and green vines in it. It's quite my aesthetic. This sort of this depiction of nature taking over artificial structures. I really enjoy looking at things like that. So for instance, these creepers on the street lamp, on a bright sunny day, just this whole even in here I do find a lot of poetry. The sun is so bright that the street lamp is unnecessary at the moment and is only really being used as a by the plant to get higher and taller, to get more sunlight. So it's like the street lamp is helping this plant get to the sunlight, something that it is designed to replace at night. Zurich at times can get quite rainy and cloudy, and I think this painting might act as a portal for me. I think even now when I look at it, I think it really teleports me to a sunnier day, even if I'm looking at it at night. So on rainy days, it might be something that will really cheer me up, and I'm looking forward to having it around. And had a great, really having this great time painting my first acrylic painting. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, hit like and subscribe if you did, and look forward to my next videos.